What up, doe? What up, doe? What up, doe? It's your girl, Zsa Zsa, and you are tuning in and listening to Yeah, I Said It, because y'all already know before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Listen, it is Thankful Thursdays. We got the activities of our limbs. We ain't in nobody's hospital. We ain't in nobody's jail. And I tell you every week that they have room for all of us. And I don't know about you, but this has definitely been a different week for me because when you're building your ladder to success and you're building certain situations in your life and you anticipate and expect certain people to be there. You anticipate and expect certain scenarios to work out for you, and then you have to think about if it don't work out for you, then it ain't for your good. So you have to learn to make peace with certain situations. But if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it. I'm talking all about did you listen? Did you listen? Did you listen? Today is my grandmother's birthday. Shout out to my grandma Liz, who is she was a breast cancer um, healer. She was healed from breast cancer, and then she was diagnosed with breast cancer again. So definitely, if you see me out wearing pink or representing breast cancer awareness, definitely representing on behalf of my grandmother, Miss Elizabeth Jones, Buford Jones. And shout out to my little brother. His birthday is Saturday. My little brother, Big Boy, who passed away in 2017. And his birthday is the 16th of this month. So shout out to any of you all who have lost a grandmother or lost a sibling, because that can be super, super duper challenging. And one of the things that I've learned with those certain losses is, what did I listen from them? And there are a lot of people that are going to leave your life, whether they're going to leave your life from them passing away, or they're going to leave your life from walking away, or you choose to walk away from them. But my question to you is, when they're talking, do you listen? Are you listening? Because one day they won't be there to give you that advice. I think about my mom and how people are able to go and call their mothers and get certain advice, or, call certain parents, their fathers, and get certain advice. And unfortunately for me and some of my siblings, we don't have that luxury. The other day, I was talking to my stepdad, and as weird as this may sound, it was the most refreshing conversation that me and him have had in years. And I felt him, as a person. I felt closer to my mom, even though she's been gone for quite some time. And it was so familiar and warming, but yet so unfamiliar because we hadn't done it in so long. And I remember growing up, when him and my mom were married, and working for him as a side hustle for a hostess, and just all the things that he had taught me as a young person and a teenager. And sometimes, we think that we've missed out on some of those things that people have taught us. I think about my grandmother, and it's so amazing to me that, she's been gone for a year now, and just how she wasn't given the opportunity and that second chance, due to COVID. And I think COVID has eliminated a lot of people's second chances. This is one of the reasons why you have to truly love on people that are loving on you. You have to truly big up those people who are bigging you up. You got to truly be there for people who are being there for you. Because I'm going to tell you something. There are times in our lives where people won't always be there. And no matter what the extenuating circumstances may be, we have to make sure that we value the people that we claim that we love. See, there's a lot of talk about the people you love, and there's a lot of talk about family and family this and friends this and this my ace this. But when it really boils down to it, how engulfed are you? How deep are you listening in your listening skills when these people are talking? These last few weeks, I told you I've been dealing with anxiety, dealing with depression, not because I want to be depressed, but when you start thinking about certain scenarios and certain people in your life and where you anticipated in your life who was going to be there. And, I've been awarded and afforded some really great successes. And I get sad when I think about my mom not being around or being able to see me do certain things. I get sad when I think about my dad not being here, not being around to see some of the things that we're going to do. And it's so crazy because, recently I want to give a special shout out and support to Mayor Kelly Garrett of Southfield Lathrop, who lost her son, her only child. And I just been, grieving for people as well as for myself. And, sometimes when we lose certain relationships, it is a loss. When you're dating somebody and y'all are no longer dating, that's a loss. When you're working at a particular job and you no longer work there and that's part of your daily routine and now you're no longer there, that's a loss. And so a lot of us are dealing with and are grieving certain losses that have happened in our lives, and we don't even realize some of the anguish, the anguish that we go through. And just thinking about being raised by my grandmother and going over her house every weekend for Sunday dinner, and how this pandemic has literally put a halt in so many of our culture's rituals, being able to get family together, being able to enjoy one's company, being able to be in the presence of people that you love and care about. And more people, of course, are getting out, but a lot of people are also getting sick still. And it's getting to a point where the media isn't going to cover it anymore, because I'm going to tell you something. Our media is bought, and our media can go any way that they want it to go. And they are the people and the powers that be that make the money, that make those necessary changes, and those people who want to create a narrative. And if you get something on TV, on the radio, on your phone as an ad, and it's repetitious based, it's going to be implanted in your mind. And unfortunately, sometimes you can't get certain things that get stuck in your mind. If you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about, did you listen? Because we're living in a world right now where people are not humane. They are living in a world where we know that we live in a metro city that's predominantly African-American. We know that we live in one of the top African-American communities. But are we listening to what our community is saying? Like, there are people who are being evicted right now. Like, I literally drove in one particular community, and I mean, they had house after house after house of people's stuff just getting put out. And what you don't realize is that the closer it gets to the holiday, the closer that people are going to be doing stuff that they've never thought that they would do. And so you got to make sure that you're listening when people are saying certain things so that you can protect yourself. It's getting darker earlier. People are getting desperate. I mean, my son, we do our weekly check-ins, because he's in college, and every time I say it, it just is mind blowing that I have a kid in college, but it's such a blessing. And, my son was like, Mom, what's going on in Detroit? And I was like, well, what you mean? Because, I try to keep my ear to the ground, but I also try to keep my mind focused on positive so that I don't become depressed or start dealing with anxiety that have nothing to do with me. Because I have the tendency, and maybe some of you are like this, when you're an empath, you pick up on emotions, you pick up on the energy that's around. And what that means is that you can spot something off somebody from a mile away. Like, a person can come in the room and I can tell off rip if they're happy, if they're sad, if they're frustrated about something. And so my son was like, Mom, what's going on in Detroit? All this stuff is happening, and this, that, and the third, and this, that, and the third. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's so much. And this is just what they report. They have a 24-hour rap sheet, the police do. And in that 24-hour rap sheet, it talks about everything that happens within the city of Detroit, from district to neighborhood to zip code. And what we see on the news is just a small snippet of stories that they pick and choose from, whether or not they're going to showcase some of this news. Some of the stuff is newsworthy and some of it is not. Can you imagine some of the stuff that really needs to be on the news? They choose not to have it on there. Why is that? Because they want to make sure that you're listening to a certain scenario. They want to make sure that your thought process is wrapped up in certain thought processes, because that's how you manipulate a community. That's how you manipulate a people. If you get them to constantly see that this is what you need to do, then guess what? We're going to move as sheep do, as a herd of animals, and we're all going to move this way because this is the scenario that they want us to move in. This is why, for those of you who are free thinkers and for those of you who are woke and not just walking around talking about you woke, but actually paying attention to what's happening on in our community, there is no way that in 1 year we're shouting out Black power and Black Lives Matter, and then the next year the same things and the same scenarios are happening, but they're worse. Like last year, we found our loved ones and our Black brothers and sisters dead and killed. This go round, we're finding them without body parts. And this is not the first time that our people have been found without our organs, without our body parts. And I'm not exactly sure what pleasure or luxury or what financial gain that an individual is getting when you are stealing another person's body parts. But we got to make more noise for our people. When we don't choose to speak up for our people and we sit back and let certain things happen to our people, and then we sit back and we shake our heads and say that's a shame, we have to be more held accountable for the leadership that we say that we are. For everybody who's saying they're a boss and they're a leader and they are who they are. Yesterday, I went to a fundraiser for Joel Jones, State Rep Joel Jones, and I was highly disappointed. Because for this young man to have had 2 terms in office, you would think there would have been a lot more people there. We'll go rush to the club for birthday parties, for people that we don't even hang out with, don't do nothing with, to turn around and actually need to support somebody who actually needs our support. This young man has a whole $100,000 bail, not 10% of 100,000, 100,000. 100,000 racks is how much it costs to get him out. Now, I'm not saying that when you make your bed, you got to lay in it. I'm not saying that when you don't do something wrong, you can't be held accountable for it. But when do we get to a point where we stop throwing one another away? I have had some relationships that I just knew they were going to be life-changing relationships for the better, because that's what we do. We put on a good foot and a good front for people to develop those relationships so that way we can get what we want from them. We use people for our own personal gain so that way we can show off whatever it is that we want to show off as better than the next person. But when they cut the majority of the things that we need off to live, because it's coming. It's when I tell you there are certain situations that they put us in to see how we're going to get out of it. It's almost like it's a reality of Hunger Games. And if you've never seen the movie Hunger Games, I suggest you go and watch it, because this is the type of lifestyle that we're headed in, where everybody's watching Squid Games. Guess what? Squid Games is just a replica of Hunger Games. These aren't type of things that just happen to just show up in our world. These are warning signs. And if we're not paying attention, we will get caught up in, oh, this is just another series, or this is just another television show that's showing certain things. This is a survival mode that they're showing. And if we ever needed to survive, who would be the people that would be equipped to actually live a lot longer in a situation where we don't have the main things that we need, like grocery stores, like gas stations. Because after they close them, we're going to go in and we're going to loot them. Then what? See, a lot of times we don't understand that our power is the prize. They put a lot of possessions in front of us because we're hungry for things, because we ain't never had nothing. This is one of the reasons why it's hard for individuals to move as groups and units, because there's always some greedy ass people in the bunch who want to say mine, 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 instead of spreading that wealth across like jam on a piece of toast. There are so many families that could be out of debt right now if we moved and operated. And see, some people don't want to listen to the leaders. Some people don't want to be the workers and the followers. Some people don't want to be the armor bearers and carry on the work, because we want to do me, myself, and I, and we want to get the bag and we want to show off the bag. But truly getting the bag is being able to have everybody in your crew get the bag. Because if everybody is getting the bag in your family and everybody is getting the bag out of your friends, you don't ever have to worry about there being an off balance. See, there are one-sided relationships because one person or a few people are doing the work. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about, did you listen? Because growing up, my grandmother, she would cook Sunday dinner. And see, a lot of us don't appreciate certain things until we no longer have it. People out here looking for Sunday dinners from grandmas and granddads and auntie them. And we didn't learn nothing. We didn't listen to nothing. We didn't learn how to boil the ham hocks. We didn't learn how to cut up the collard greens. We didn't learn while we had people here to teach us. And then you have to be in a headspace to not want to ask, do you want to learn? You have to be in the headspace of coming here, I'm about to teach you. See, there are some things that my son couldn't get away with not learning. No, you're going to learn how to sew this button on your shirt, because I'm not always going to be around to button it up. No, you're going to learn how to cuff your pants, because I may not always be around and you may not be able to take your stuff to the cleaners. There were some things that I taught my son because we can't wait around for somebody to teach him. And see, when you value your elders and when you value the people that are older than you in your life that have something to teach you, you sit with a cup waiting to learn something. But if you're around somebody who can't teach you nothing, then you already messed yourself up. Because that's one of the reasons why you got to be mindful of the human beings that you put yourself around. I don't sit around with people who are comfortable with talking about other people and not willing to extend the olive branch to help them. See, when my brother was dealing with mental illness because his weed was laced, I couldn't understand or fathom how his so-called friends really cared about him if you were willing to watch him go through all of these different things. This is one of the reasons why I look at the people in my community and I can't say you're for the culture. I can't say that you really believe that Black Lives Matter, because you are so caught up in your own agenda that you don't care about nothing else and what nobody else is doing, because guess what? You're moving and operating off self. This is one of the reasons why our culture, our world won't get better, because we're not dealing with people with the kindness and the humaneness. It's a bare minimum of just treating somebody with decency and respect. Starting off with hello, how you doing? It's a blessing to see you. It don't always have to be in detail. It don't always have to be long and drawn out. But dealing with people humanely. A person that can cut off Jelani Day's jaw, pull out his spleen, take out his liver, cut off his penis, tear off some of his skin. Okay? And I know that's probably real graphic for you, But that lets you know how inhumane a person can be to do something like that to another person. These are the generations of people who hung us, who took ropes that were meant to be tied to animals and pulled and to be hold for things to be held together, that created newts and put them around our necks and threw them across a tree. And somebody on the other end was waiting to pull that rope down to snap our necks. Inhumane. We are quick to run to the club, but we're not quick to stand up for our brothers and our sisters. And for those who have the powers that may be and have the voices, why aren't you using them? You scared to ruffle feathers, and you might not make no friends, or somebody might not invest in your product or your project. So you choose to hold on real tight to friendships that you want to make work out for us. This is one of the reasons why white people will always win, because we are quick to sell each other out for what gain? I think the Bible says, what profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? We are quick to sell each other out. And while I was at State Rep Jewel Jones' event fundraiser, his parents were there and his sister was there. All I could think about was when my brothers were locked up. How many of my family wrote them? How many of the people sent them $20 that claimed that they loved them? How many people was shouting it out, free my brother, but couldn't even pick up a pen and a piece of paper to write them? See, some of us say that we care about our people and Black Lives Matter this, but when it comes down to actually showing that love, I had one cousin, one out of all of my cousins, that wrote my brother on a consistent basis, both of them. I had some that did it here and there. Out of all of the siblings, I was the only sibling that made sure that I was seeing them, supporting them, and writing them on a regular basis. Even when I didn't have no money, no gas money for the rest of the week when I came back from visiting my siblings. Making sure that my mom was able to go see them because she didn't want to drive on the highway. See, that's when you're committed to the cause. Some of us are not really committed to the hard work. See, we say it's easy to say this and it's easy to do this, but it's a whole nother ball game when it really causes you to remember what you've learned. See, this is one of the reasons why Black history was one of my favorite subjects in high school at Mackenzie, at Drew, at McFarland. And I would love to put on projects and to talk about our ancestors and to discover the Black people that came before us that didn't have a cell phone, didn't have a computer, didn't have a bunch of followers. All they had was an idea, a vision, and a dream. And they got out there and they put that hustle on despite the discrimination, despite the lack of finances, despite all of the odds that were against them. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about what did you learn and what did you listen to? Did you listen? Because it just baffles me how we know what we know and we operate on not knowing. I often feel like if it doesn't apply, we let it fly. And something happens, person get locked up, person get shot. We're sad or we're upset for a day or two, but we're not enraged. We're not completely traumatized as we think we are because we're not moving off that trauma. Like, do you realize that Jim Crow laws and segregation was not that long ago? Do you understand that we have a mayor that is refusing to do a political debate with another candidate? Who gets to refuse? That tells me is that people will do what they want to do to you as long as you are allowing it to happen. As long as you are allowing to get walked over, they will walk over you. As long as you're always giving out discounts, guess what? They're going to always expect them. If you're always okay with being cheated on, guess what? You're going to always be cheated on. If you okay with being the cheater, guess what? You're going to always be the cheater as long as you know you can get away with it. If you're okay with scheming and scamming, then guess what? You're going to be okay with continuous to scheme and scam. And people act like a lot of these things won't come back on them. This is one of the reasons why I operated and I moved a certain type of way raising my son, because when you are raising your child and you have men and women coming in their lives, they don't know who to attach themselves to. And see, we like watching BMF and we love seeing, our people do their thing on screen, but there are people that are really living these lives, that have daughters, have sons, and they have them around this foolishness. And they got their kids calling their boyfriends and girlfriends daddy and mama and all this foolishness. And then we want to know why our kids are jacked up. A lot of us are okay with masking our issues because we don't see trauma. Some of us see trauma from, the things that we've been through, but a lot of us, our trauma is internal. See, when we hurt ourselves on the outside, we see a scab. You cut yourself, you get stitches, staples, invisible stitches. You get a bandage, you get painkillers. But when it's internal pain, when it's internal hurt, when it's internal depression, anxiety, when it's trying to deal with your mental health, that's not a Band-Aid that you can put over. And no matter how much you may feel a certain type of way, there's not enough liquor, there's not enough weed, there's not enough sex, there's not enough money in the world that can stop what you feel internally. And until you deal with a lot of those internal issues and challenges and obstructions that we face, none of that other stuff is going to suffice. We'll drink until we can't drink no more, and the problem will still exist. I've been high out of my mind trying to get over a certain situation. And once I come down from that high, guess what? That problem still exists. So now I have to be strategic in how I move, because if I don't create a strategy, I'm going to stay stuck. And when you're feeling stuck, it causes you to feel depressed. It makes you feel like you're not doing enough. It makes you feel like you're not moving. And it could be the absolute opposite and contrary to the negative thoughts. Because sometimes your surroundings, being lonely, being by yourself, trying to figure out who you can trust when you're trying to build stuff with people, and it feels uncomfortable. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, I'm talking all about did you listen? When I was going to my grandmother's, and today is her birthday, RIP to my grandma Liz, she would tell me about growing up in Arkansas and the challenges that they had to face with just going to the grocery store without being harassed. And some of us have daughters, wives, sisters that we should be protecting, making sure that they're good at all times, instead of putting on this macho man persona. This is the life that we're living in, and it could get right back to that in a quick of a second. I mean, if they were willing to take over the White House, kidnap our governor here in Lansing, turn around and put our state rep in jail for a storyline that wasn't even real, steal everything from us as a people, continue to do so, still trying to cancel out our First Amendment right of being able to have free speech. They're censoring all of social media. They're able to stop it and cut it off at any given time. And here we are causing hindrances for one another instead of just being humane and kind. I feel bad for the generations that come under us, because they don't even realize the strength and the power that they possess, but they give it away. And then, unfortunately, we're not teaching people how to cope with grief, how to cope with anxiety, how to cope with depression. I talked to my son before he left about speaking up as a man, because most men are not going to talk about them being depressed. They're not going to talk about their anxiety. They're not going to talk about anything that may cause them to get side-eyed because we don't want to be judged. But we're judged anyway. We're judged every day, all day, whether we want to or not. And at the end of the day, I teach people to share your thoughts, because if you don't share your thoughts will start sharing certain scenarios with you that shouldn't even be in your mind. We'll start creating anxiety that's not even supposed to be there. And for me, I don't know about some of you all, but I'm an overthinker. I think about all the scenarios that possibly happen. I think about everybody that's involved. I think about the environment that we're in, the community that we're in. I think about all of these things, right? And sometimes I think myself right into a frenzy, because I'll be like, okay, Zsa Zsa, come on back. Come on back, sis. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It. And before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add more to it. Make sure you follow me on social media. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. I'm talking all about, did you listen? You know, there are some people that God gives you. He assigns people to your life, whether they be older, younger, your age. And these are people that you can genuinely trust, not people that you can fake trust. Because, see, a lot of us, we show a lot of fake love and we show a lot of fake loyalty. But I'm talking about people that you can really trust with your secrets. Because, see, a lot of you all have secrets and you have things that you've done, you're doing now, you're living. And it's a blessing when you can meet people, grow up with people, develop relationships with people that you can trust. You know, my mom would tell me, if you get at least two good friends, you are blessed. And it's a beautiful blessing when you can be able to share your most authentic self with someone about what's going on with you, and them not judge you, them not hang you to the cross, them not take your information or what you're dealing with and become a FedEx and share your business with everybody else. It's truly a blessing when you can trust people enough that you can share things about you personally, because you want people in your life that will listen, that will hear you. You know, when I think about people who commit suicide, I think about somebody wasn't listening. Because we all show signs, suicidal signs, signs of depression, signs of anxiety, signs of frustration. We all show those signs that something's going on with us. Some of us don't apply the action that goes behind a lot of those things. We'll go find something to do, or we'll go figure it out. But then there are some people who aren't as strong, whose faith isn't as strong, who doesn't have a support system or a strong backbone. There are some people who are weak-minded, who are easily able to manipulate, who are, they are the very people that people prey upon to do things to. And when you find those people in your life that genuinely care about you, that's a rarity. And you hold on to that. Because a lot of us, we think that you'll always have those people in our lives. You know, and I think about my brother and I think about my grandmother. All I can think about it are the times that they gave me advice, the times that they pushed me to follow my goals and my dreams. And right now we are in a legal genocide where they are legally killing us. And there's going to be some advice that people are going to give you in this season. Some of it, take it. If it apply, if it don't apply, let it fly. But there are going to be some people that are going to be speaking in your life about some things. There are going to be some people that are going to be warning you about some things. And then you may be the person that's going to be warning the people. And see, sometimes people ain't going to listen. There are some people right now that I have warned about certain scenarios that was going to happen in their lives. And I know it's hard for them to call me or talk to me because they know the very thing that I said was going to happen. Had they listened or had they not listened, would or would not have happened. There are some things that have happened to you in your life, and some of those good things happened because you listened. And then some of those bad things happen and challenging things happen because of what? You didn't listen. In this season, you're going to have to listen to somebody. Now, everybody ain't worth listening. Everybody's not going to give you sound wisdom. I'm going to tell you that right now, because there are a lot of people that are haters. There are a lot of people that would rather see you on your back than on your feet. There are people that will listen to you to steal your ideas. There are people that will listen to you to take your business and spread it. There are people that will act like they are listening to you only to pray against whatever it is that you're trying to build. So be mindful who you share your information with, because everybody ain't to be trusted. I don't care how long you know them. I don't care how cool you think you are with them. You have to be mindful that let the Spirit lead you to who you need to talk to, as well as who needs to be speaking into your life. Because everybody can't speak into your life. There are people that won't. They always, they got to hear, they got a word from the Lord. Somebody told them something and something. Right now, you know what's going on with you, right? And if you don't know what's going on with you, you need to get to know what's going on with you. So that way, when somebody does come to speak into your life, you don't got itching ears. That's why when prophets and prophetess come to churches, people are always running because they want to hear, is they going to say something for me? But if you living your best life and you speaking those things that are not as though they were, you won't even need a word from these particular people, because God is already speaking to you. And God will use a perfect stranger. And it's happened to me on so many occasions, years after years after years after years. God will send me a stranger, somebody that does not know me, don't know nothing about me, don't know my name, don't know where I'm from, but all they know is they see something on me and they need to say something to me. And I've been freaked out a few times, don't get me wrong, because I'm like, who sent you, God or the devil? Because sometimes you got to ask, because you don't want to be hoodwinked and bamboozled because you got an itching ear or you've been praying for something. And see, the enemy will have you tripped up when you're listening to the wrong people. There are some siblings that don't mean you no good, that's speaking negative and saying things that they shouldn't be saying. And you got to get to a humane point in your life where you say, you know what? Enough is enough. This is not how we were raised. This is not what we were taught. Is this who I've become? Is this what I believe? And see, the thing about it is you don't keep doing people wrong that you love. You don't keep dogging out people that you say you care about. You don't let other people dog out people who you say you loyal to. There's no way somebody can come talking to me about somebody that I love, because I'm gonna shut it down immediately. This we not about to play with this. I'm not about to listen to your side. Like, we get to a point right now where we are allowing and conceding on too many things. We're conceding when it comes to our culture and our ethnicity. We're conceding when it comes to what's right and what's wrong. We will side with the people that are wrong and then look crazy at the people that we know are right. We'll shun righteousness. We'll engage in stupidity. And then we want to know why things are panning out the way that they are, because we are engaging in stupidity. Nobody wants to speak up and say nothing because don't nobody want no problems. I don't want no issues with nobody, but yet you'll sit around and be a part of the issue and part of the problem. Right now, we have young men that are sitting in jail and prisons. We have women that are sitting in prisons, juvenile facilities. They aren't even getting court dates. They aren't even getting the due processes that they deserve, because we're all caught up in so many other things. Right now, we're getting ready to have a city just stolen right from up under us. And guess what? They'll keep stealing it as long as they can keep doing it. We always want to hold our people accountable, but we never hold the raw chicken accountable. We don't never hold the raw chicken accountable, but they will step on our necks and make it challenging and difficult for us, but we won't speak out of the injustices that are happening within our communities. We'll watch the people march. And I get it. COVID-19 is out here and we have to protect ourselves and protect our families. I get it. I am 100 in agreement with you. But when we start having situations where we're not learning our power, we're not paying attention and listening to the ancestors that come before us, we're not taking what is happening in our world seriously. Like right now, they're trying to redistrict our community, redistrict our community after they already redistricted. They already minimized the districts, only to turn around and minimize them again. It's like you having a living room, a dining room, and a den, and then somebody says, you know what? You don't deserve the den no more. So they take it away, and now you just got the living room and dining room. And then they come back again, and they say, you know what? We know we took your den, but I think we're going to take your dining room too. And all you get is a living room. Is that fair? Is that okay? Is that okay for somebody to get to decide how to treat us? This is why we got to do better. You know, our communities are plagued with pride and ego. I know people right now who watch me who emulate things that I do. And, you know, I look at it as flattery because when you are somebody worth looking up to, when you are worth somebody listening to, when you are a person of influence, you are to use that influence and that platform to the best of your ability. So when I get people who want to emulate or try to do what I do, I think it and call it as a blessing. But the difference between me and those individuals is that when you are called to do something, not just wanting to do something, it's a difference. There are some people who are called to do certain passions and purpose work. And we know it because you can see the passion and the fire behind them doing it. And then there are some people who are doing certain things because they want to be recognized for doing them. You got to be careful how certain people operate, because if you listen to them long enough, you'll listen to the agenda that they're on. I had somebody try to tell me that they had wanted to do something for my birthday. And as admirable as that might have been, I wasn't listening to that because you didn't put no effort into it for real. If you would have put effort into it, I would have known there was effort put into it. But then you'll go see them put on something else for somebody else's birthday by any means necessary. So what that tells me is there is no value. See, when you value the people that you genuinely love, you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to make them feel no type of way. When there are people in your life, including yourself, you start loving yourself a certain type of way. You stop letting certain people talk to you any kind of way, do you any kind of way, deal and operate with you on a way where they feel necessary when it's convenient for them, because people will do that. And see, this is the thing about God that I love. You know, God created the world, but God is not of the world. And so he deals with people differently than how we deal with people. You know, we like to shut people out. We block them. You know, we discommunicate with them. You know, uncommunicate. We don't want to communicate with them no more. You know, we call ourselves, you know, picking people to be on the bandwagon of whatever stupidity that we are bigging up, and we allow certain situations to be measured by our tangible success. And this is one of the things that I love about God, because God can take the least of them and make the most of them. He will take a nobody and make them a somebody right before all of your eyes. And this is one of the reasons why I'm always mindful of how I deal with people, because you never know who's going to be where in what time and in real life. He may hold up a blessing. God may hold up your blessing to bless somebody else, to get them where they need to be in order to bless you. This is how God operates. And this is one of the reasons why I stopped putting faith in man, because man will fail you. You will have your hopes up with your loved ones, your spouse, your children, your friends. You'll have so much faith in a certain situation, a certain scenario. And when it doesn't happen, our feelings get hurt. and then we doubt God, and we start having lack of faith. But in actuality, we were supposed to put all of our faith in God in the first place. We were supposed to put all of our trust in God in the first place, because people will show you their repetitive behaviors and we don't listen. We don't pay attention. You know, we got memes going around right now about red flags. We all have seen the red flags and we all have ignored them. Some of us have been the red flag and we have ignored ourselves. We have ignored what we said we was going to do. We have ignored taking the stance that we say we're going to take. We say we're going to be better parents and we fall off by the wayside. We say we're going to do better with working out. And the minute that we get discouraged, we fall off the bandwagon. And at the end of the day, if you want true compassion for your situation, we are going to have to start showing true compassion for people in general. Not just the people we like, just not the people that we think can get us to the next level. Because I'm going to tell you something. There are people who are over our children, got daycares, got schools, got all type of things that are dealing with kids and have no love for children whatsoever. The thought process that they have about children. You got to think. We got a season where we got coaches and teachers and principals and people that are in leadership that are handling our children's future. And if we're not paying attention and being kind and being more humane about what it is that we say we really want, then what are we really doing for these kids? Teaching them how to play the system, teaching them how to play one another, teaching them how to play another generation, because that's what we end up doing. You know, I often ask people when I talk to them, what are you looking for God to do for you? What are you looking for God to change in you, about you? What are you looking for God to do for your situation? And sometimes people don't even know. They've been in certain scenarios for so long that they get used to being at the bottom, being the underdog. I had to tell myself on so many occasions, Zsa Zsa, you got this. You're going to have to pull yourself up out the slumbers. And it's a beautiful thing when I can call a sister friend and talk about some of the things that weigh us down so that you can move and operate and pivot at a level that you need to. Because when you are boggled down with stress and anxiety, it feels like a weight is being carried on and weighing you down. And when you are able to talk to somebody and get that stuff off of you and talk to somebody that you actually can trust, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be able to look somebody in the eyes and actually be who you say you are. Because see, we live in a world where you can fake the funk. We could perpetrate the fraud. Everybody's a boss. Everybody's living their best life. Ain't nobody hurt. Ain't nobody dealing with nothing. And it's so unfortunate because we are teaching a falsehood of how to deal and cope with certain scenarios and problems. There are some young men who have been taught that go out here and steal it. Now go out here and work for it. There are young ladies that have been taught go out here and seduce him. Not go out here and put yourself in a position where you can win and add something to the table for whatever man or woman is coming to your way. We are allowing TV and the media to raise our children, video games to patronize and keep our children occupied instead of spending that time with them. See, if we don't get to the next level in our thought processes and what we perceive to be true leadership, we're going to mess ourselves up and we're going to put ourselves back 400 more years. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. Before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Listen, make sure you tune in each and every Friday for Uncommon Conversations for each one of my guests that's out here in the city of Detroit, from the Metro Detroit area, that are doing great things. Listen, we are looking to have you on the show. And if you know somebody that would like to be a guest on the show, we're getting ready to start back filming. Listen, please pray for my team. We have had some challenges in the last few weeks, but I'm going to tell you something. God still is going to get the glory because he's given us purpose and passion to do what we've set out to do. And there's no devil in hell that's going to stop me from accomplishing the goals that God has set forth for me. And you have to take on that mindset because life is going to throw so many things at you. You got to learn to work on them. Life is going to throw so many things at you. And sometimes you're going to feel like you are literally drowning in situations and you don't see that there's going to be a way out, but you're going to have to work those things out. And when you do it, you're going to have to learn to do right by people. There are a lot of people who think that they can get away with treating people any kind of way. And what you don't realize is that karma has no expiration date. So when you out here thinking that you're doing wrong by certain people, you also have to gonna be mindful about the karma that's gonna come behind the things that you do. And if you have been done wrong and people thought that they was getting away with some stuff with you, and yet it seemed like sometimes God be moving slow on that karma, but I'm gonna tell you something about karma. Karma has no expiration date, and people will pay attention to how you move and how they move. And I'm going to tell you something about karma. When you love and respect a person and that's what you led with, people have no other option but to get back what they have sown. Let me tell you something. The Bible says what you have sown, you will also reap. So at the end of the day, I move and I operate off of leadership, off of love. Because at the end of the day, I have a legacy that I'm trying to build. And I don't want things that I've done in times past, in present situations, in my current situation, to hinder what God has for me in the future. See, a lot of people, they live this YOLO life. And I am all for YOLO. You only live once. I am in total agreement with that. But YOLO does not mean that you do people any kind of way. YOLO doesn't mean that you cause obstructions for your brother or your sister, especially when you know that they are doing right. YOLO doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to be fake with this person today and then loyal with this person tomorrow. No, that's not what YOLO means. And see, a lot of us get confused with what it means to have a YOLO lifestyle. When you only live once, you operate in love like you only live once. You operate in kindness like you only live once. You deal with the humaneness of your world like you only live once. If you imagine that we only live once, we would treat each other a lot better. We would move and operate in a form of compassion when you know that you only live once. If you know that you only live once, why are you operating like you get to live again? See, this is one of the reasons why I love working with women and working with youth and mentoring, because yes, we only live once, but God will allow you to have a lifetime of blessings that will make you feel like you have lived more than once. There are things that have happened in my life where I know I only have one life, but God has allowed me to live through some spectacular and amazing things where I feel like God has given me a new breath of fresh air, a new revelation, refreshing thought processes where I feel like this is a whole new life, a whole new world, something I've never dealt with, something that I've never seen. And when you start listening to people who care about you and you start listening to the advice and the wisdom that people who love you and care about you share, and not acting like, oh, I'm too prideful to listen to somebody. Oh, my ego is too big, where I feel like I've already arrived and I've already made it. Because I'm going to tell you something. The same God that brought you up is the same God that'll bring you down. And what you don't want is you don't want to be brought down, because when he bring you down, he going to bring you flat on your face. I've seen it. Not only have I seen it with people who we've looked up to, but I've also seen it in my own life. I've also seen it within my own family, because you have people who act like they're listening, but they ain't really listening. You have people who act like they care, but they don't really care. You have people who say that they are operating off loyalty, but they're actually operating off of their own loyalty to themselves. This is one of the reasons why you got to ask God every time you're dealing with people, you're dealing with contracts, you're dealing with certain situations. Are these the people that I'm supposed to be working with? Do these people have my best interests at heart? And this time, when you're asking God for a sign, actually look into and listen out for one. Don't just be ready to jump into whatever You hear first, because sometimes it could be the trick of the enemy. And you got to be careful of people with Haman spirits. For those of you who don't know Haman, Haman was the right-hand man of a king. And this particular king was very, very mindful of the wisdom that he got from people. And see, there are some connections that you're supposed to have, but there are some people in the way of you getting to that connection because they have Haman spirits. See, Mordecai was an uncle of a young lady who became the queen of a community. And this young lady is, this whole scenario and this story is in the book of Esther. So I would really encourage you all to read it. But there are a lot of people with Haman spirits, hating Haman spirits. And those same hating spirits will hang themselves trying to hinder you from being successful. See, Haman didn't like Mordecai. And see, Haman was willing to do whatever he could to make Mordecai's life miserable. That included killing his people, hindering his growth, stopping his money flow, cutting off health, all type of things that he was willing to do to sabotage another person. You a real different type of individual when you are okay with trying to sabotage and hinder somebody else's success or growth. You are a real weird, strange type of person when you are okay with doing the most to stop somebody's success. This is one of the reasons why I love God's favor so much, because what God starts, he finishes. What he puts together, nobody can stop it. No matter how much or what they say or what they do, when God wants you to be successful and wants you to be in position, there is nothing that nobody can do. There's nothing that nobody can say. Because at the end of the day, what God wants for you, you gonna get it. And there are people who have a Haman spirit that will try to stop the very thing that they're actually helping catapult. See, when people think that they're dogging you out, they actually giving free publicity. When people are not supportive for you, then guess what? You can easily not include them in your success story. They make it easier for you. So before you start tripping like me over scenarios and situations, continue to operate in kindness. Continue to operate in compassion. Continue to operate in your purpose and in your passion. And if you don't know what that is, this is a great opportunity for you to start listening to what God is saying to you. This is a great opportunity for you to stop listening to these no good Negroes and no good individuals that are in your life that's telling you the wrong things. This is one of the reasons why I was always mindful of who my son called friend. Because there are going to be some people in your life that you call friend or family that aren't going to give you the best advice. They're not going to give you the best scenarios, and they're not going to give you the best wisdom that you're supposed to have to help your life for the next direction. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Listen, make sure you follow me on social media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Zsa Zsa, because you do. Don't be hating on a real one. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for all of the latest interviews and all of the amazing things that I do outside of the show. Listen, I will keep you posted on everything that I got going on. Listen, make sure y'all are washing your hands, eating your fruits and vegetables, staying away from processed foods and dairy, because that's not what you need right now in this season, because it creates more mucus, which hinders and clogs up your lungs, your throat, all of your ear, nose, all of that respiratory. And right now, you need as much vitamins and much fruits, as much water and as much sunlight as you can possibly get in order for your body to be strong enough to fight whatever is coming your way. Because if it's not COVID today, it's going to be something they're going to make up tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you something. If they are looking to control, they are looking to create a bigger wealth gap, guess what's going to happen? It's going to happen if we allow it to happen. So if you don't want these type of things to happen, then you are going to have to think strategically about linking up, working together, and building up one another and building up each other's brands so that way we can go to the next level. Listen, I love y'all. And until next time, be safe. I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. I'm your girl, Zsa Zsa. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Zsa Zsa, because you do. And I love y'all. And until next week, peace. Peace.